of my work as the digital nomad at National Geographic Traveler. There's only one rule for digital storytelling, and this is really what I want all of us to remember today. Everything else I say today is a suggestion. This one is not. This is a rule. The number one rule to digital storytelling is there must be a story. In order to tell a story, there has to be a story. And so today I'm going to tell you a story. Back in July, 3 months ago, I was in the area of the Jungfrau. Anyone here been here this last week in Jungfrau, Aquaterra and Wengen, a beautiful area. I was there and I was mountain biking. It was a gorgeous day, the sun was up, I was already tan at 10 in the morning. You could hear the cowbells clanging in the fields, the air smelled like honey because of the flowers. I felt like Heidi on a bicycle. So I'm biking along, and no offense to the Swiss, but you have a very distorted sense of incline in this country. You've seen the little Swiss biking signs, a little happy biker going like this, or flat. Well, they'll tell you, oh, the trail's like this, but really it's a cliff, it's like this. And so I was biking down a cliff, and where I come from, when you're biking out of control and you're about to die, you put the brakes on. And so I put the brakes on, the front brakes, and I flipped over the handlebars. And I landed head first. Smashed my legs, my head, that's another rule, always wear a helmet, into the ground. I was bleeding from every limb. I felt really stupid. I was in a lot of pain. I wrapped it all up, biked down to Wengen, spent the night in the hotel there. I couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain. My hand was throbbing. And so finally in the morning, I talked to my brother who's a doctor, and he said, you need to go to the hospital, you gotta get this x-ray. So, I went to the emergency room in Interlaken. Anyone been here to Interlaken? It really is, it's the adventure capital of Switzerland, and they really need to have the hospital on the postcards there because it's such an amazing place. It's very Swiss, it's very clean, and it's a very adventurous hospital. I walked in, and when you check into a Swiss hospital, it's like anywhere else. You have to fill out a lot of paperwork, but you fill it out in 7 different languages. So one of the questions that they asked me in the Swiss hospital is, do you want a priest/vicar to visit you? And I was really touched by this. I thought, yes, I do. So I checked, yes, yeah, oui, si, da, 7 languages. I said yes. And then I got an x-ray. And luckily, my x-ray came back totally clean. I was like, are you sure I didn't break something? Because it really feels like I broke something. They're like, no, no breaks, you're all good. But the nurse, who was a beautiful blonde Swiss nurse, she was very concerned because she says my hands were filled with something in Schweizerdeutsch they call Dreck. She said, your hands have Dreck in them. Now, Dreck means something else in my country, but the original, it comes from here. And so I learned this new Swiss-German word, and the pretty nurse was cleaning out all the Dreck from my hands and my legs. And after she was all done, I said, well, thank you so much. I'm really sorry about this. And she said, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is the Interlaken Hospital. I personally deal with 10 mountain bikers a week. This is nothing. This is what we do here. We put mountain bikers together. And then I said, okay, so I walked out and I had a whole cast, a splint, everything on my hand. And Swiss people would ask me, what happened? Oh, it's mountain biking. And then they would pull out their phones, just like my phone, and they would start showing me pictures of their mountain biking accident. And it was far worse. They would have heads swollen out to here, they would have double casts, they'd be in suspension, and they were very proud of this, and it was like something they did every weekend. They wrecked their mountain bike. And seriously, I think the Swiss citizenship test is a major mountain biking accident. And you wreck your bike, and bam, they give you a Swiss passport. So I didn't feel so special, but I did feel like I tapped into something that was very Swiss, a very Swiss experience. So I healed, I went home. 3 months later, I'm on the couch, this is just a couple weeks ago, watching TV, and I feel this discomfort in my hand again. It's like itching, and so I'm itching and scratching, and all of a sudden, boing, a little black rock pops out of my hand. A little piece of the Swiss Alps that I had been carrying inside of me for 3 months inside this wound. And I remembered that day on the mountain. Now, mountain biking in the Swiss Alps is not a story. barreling down the Eiger path, flipping over your handlebars, wiping out, bleeding on the pavement, not being able to sleep all night because you're in so much pain, going to the emergency room, meeting a beautiful Swiss nurse, being asked in 7 languages if you want to see a priest, learning Drek, which is a word I'll never forget, then having a piece of the Swiss Alps comes out of my hand like some inadvertent souvenir of Switzerland, and then just last week getting a letter and apologizing from the Swiss hospital saying, we're so sorry, we overcharged you, here's a 41 Swiss franc check to reimburse you, which will cost me $70 to cash in my country. That is a story.